Okay. Okay, now it's already 6:21. Let us start the session. A warm welcome to our masters, Hualien Dharma team, and brothers and sisters around the globe to Saturday Hualien Dharma Talk. A very good morning. Let us start the session for today. Recently, disasters have happened so rampantly one after another due to the great imbalance of four elements. Now with COVID-19 pandemic around the world, Master have great concern and earnestly urge everyone to repent and adopt vegetarian meal to protect life and cultivate our great love to living beings and for the goodness of society and the world. Now let us send our sincere prayers into the 10 directions. May the Sahara land be free from disaster and peace prevails in the world. Let us sing the prayer song with sincere piousness.
In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness. All my heart is filled with sincere prayer. From all corners of the world, let us join our hearts and pray for a world of harmony and peace. From my heart, I pray. May we join our hands, our hearts as one. Spread the seeds of great love, nurture wisdom evermore. Let us fill the world with hope. In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness. May all the Buddhas know my prayer. All united with one heart, let us end our hate with love. May there be no suffering hereafter.
May all minds be purified. May there be peace in the community. May there be no disasters in this world. Let us together pray for universal love and blessing. With loving respect, gratitude, and confidence, let us wish every person in our lives a healthy body and enlightened mind, and a total fulfillment in universal love. Now let us expand this consciousness to include every person in the world, every being in the universe. Let our unified love make this wonderful world even better. Let us all immerse ourselves in the joyful embrace of universal love. Before we hear the wondrous wonderful sharing. Let us invite our masters to lead us in paying homage to triple gems. Let us pray. Let us pay our respects for these teachings and explanations to the Buddha and Master Cheng Yen by making 3 sincere vows. Please rise. Palms together. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. And a bow to our beloved Abode Masters who could join us today. Okay, today we have Dharma Master De Cheng, who will be sharing with us direct and circumstantial retributions, and followed by Sister Su Ching and Sister Moon with our EG Pure Heart Health story. Now, let us invite Sister Su Ching for the weekly summary. Over to you, Sister Su Ching.
Good morning, everyone. Share screen. Last week, Sister Hong Li was introduced to Tzu Chi through an entrepreneur workshop in Indonesia. She was touched by the wisdom of relief works where love and care are the main criteria. Through a sermon told of a story titled The Monk and the Golden Alms Bowl, she learned how attachments can be destructive and create feelings without control. She self-reflected and saw that her personal attachments were creating rifts at home. By letting go of expectations, she gradually created more harmony than she had ever known. She was amazed by the miraculous powers of the Dharma that Master preached. The many aspects of her lives that her teachings can now really reach. Prior to the pandemic, her business was a roaring success. As her business expanded, her dedication to vegetarianism grew much less. Since the pandemic, she pivoted back to her original plant-based base. With more time at home, her relationships with her family members were back in place. But her business suffered dearly, and this time she took the opportunity to go back to being plant-based again, truly and wholly, absolutely holy. With her business now back in track, she counts her blessings for Master and Tzu Chi that came into her life at the right time and place so serendipitously. Master De Huang reminded us to be diligent and be wary of laziness. For the days pass and our lives are shortened, so it is important that we immerse our time and effort to crucial things most definitely. She advises to strive on with our vows diligently and vigilantly. She said to be mindful of impermanence, thus make hay while the sun shines, and be cautious of laxity, for with it our effectiveness in life severely declines. Thank you so much for listening to me. I will stop share and hand over to Sister Su Ching to introduce the next speaker.
感恩哦 ，Sister Lily and Sister Su Ching 敬爱的上人、师父brothers and sisters most wonderful morning to everyone, and we are most humbled today to have Master De Cheng to guide us, and we are also very grateful to De Huang Sư父for bringing us our most respectable Master De Cheng to guide us. Okay, without much ado, let us hear from De Cheng Sư父on direct and circumstantial retributions. What can we learn from the predictions of Buddhahood upon Sariputra? Okay, 感恩德成师父感恩
Venerable Master Cheng Yen, dear sisters and brothers, good morning. It's truly wonderful that although we are at different regions and locations, still we have a great, incredible affinity to come together, sharing with you through the video conferencing. So today my topic is direct and circumstantial retributions. What we can learn from the prediction of Buddhahood upon Sariputra. And generally speaking, as we know that after learning the Buddha Dharma, we can understand that our enlightened being constantly transmigrate in the days of ignorance. In the dark and gloomy long night, it is difficult for sentient beings like us to see the light. So, having not yet attained a true awakening, we are as if forever in a dream. Thus, the Buddha calls it the long night of samsara. Samsara means transmigration. In Chinese, we describe the long night as 漫漫长夜. So why do we call it a long night? The reason is because that the sentient beings constantly transmigrate through the obscurity of a long night. We are in darkness all along the way, and we even don't know how wide is the path before us, and how far is there still to go. Is the road smooth, or is it uneven? We truly do not know because it is so dark. I don't know if you have this kind of experience, like every day we live in, sometimes it's just like a dream, a bubble dream. So aren't we enlightened beings just like this? We are always transmigrating, lifetime after lifetime. We are always in darkness and ignorance. This is how we sentient beings are. So how can we sentient beings possibly come to comprehend this ourselves and understand our path in this world? And how can we walk an even and steady path where the darkness quickly clears from the sky? As we know that when the darkness clears, the sun will shine off. And it is when the door, however, it is when the door of our minds is too close that we are in darkness. Once we open the door to our minds, we can see that outside it was always light. So once our sentient beings open our mind, in fact, the outside world will be clear. It will appear before our eyes. So we are in darkness because we have closed ourselves us. We feel that the time is very long and that our path is very long. So indeed, we need only open the door of our mind. Once we sentient beings open our mind, in fact, outside world will be cleared and you will appear before our eyes, just as mentioned before. So let's take one example. Sometimes we are enlightened beings are just like have different kinds of thoughts. For examples, that in our minds we may say that I worked so hard to comprehend the principles. I'm resolved to do so, but I'm still stuck where I started, turning around in the wrong place. I have not made any progress. How can I thoroughly comprehend these principles? And this is the long night we sentient beings live in. And this is the darkness of our ignorance. We have not been able to open our mind. Thus, having not yet attained true awakening, we are as if forever in a dream. We keep being unable to fully understand. Thus, we spend a very, very long time stuck in a dream from which we cannot awaken. So if I ask you all two questions in our present life, first one is that, do you think that our unenlightened beings know where we are from or where we are going in the future? And the second question is that, are you satisfied with your present life now? I bet you have already your own answers in your own mind. And I do believe that we are enlightened beings do not know where we come from, let alone where we are going in the future. It is like this for us in every lifetime. And truthfully speaking, the life truth is that we do not know how much we have arrived in this present life. Right now, in this present life, if we ask ourselves the questions, are you satisfied with your life? I believe that all of you, just like me, we will think like 9 times out of 10, things do not go as planned. Things are not going our way. We are not unsatisfied. Even when we have few desire in our content, we still feel we have regrets in life for certain degrees. Our life actually is filled with regrets or disappointments. The things we want to know too much, want to do, want to comprehend, still seem very far away. And the list we made goes on and on. In this life, there are things we want to do or want to pursue or even want to attain. Seems very hard for us sometimes. So we need to ask ourselves the question, what causes us suffering? I think the Buddha's mercy comes from that, seeing that all living beings in suffering. He feels sympathetic, feels deeply for them whom deluded by afflictions, greed, and created bad karma. So the Buddha came to this world to teach us that life is impermanent. It filled with suffering and emptiness. We must awaken quickly. It comes up with my mind that, as we know, the Master have a tour around the south and the central of Taiwan since October 20th. On her way from Kaohsiung, he visited the Gangshan complex. And there she also mentions this part. So let's watch the short clip together to learn the Dharma's teaching.
对高阳经过的江山啊，我也伫遐停一下。江山，咱真侪大树，啊，伫迄个大树骹，伫遐坐着，看着啦，菩萨，真正是菩萨伫一丛一丛的大树骹，师父教诲。 因摆甲足好势，刀啊、椅啊，拢伫围绕伫大树骹里。啊，互我也是伫树骹甲因讲话啦，迄种的感觉，真正呢回归到佛陀啦，伊觉悟的时阵，嘛是伫大树骹里，伊伫迄个所在。 夜道明清，觉悟，这觉悟的心境啦，看一切的众生苦难，伊心里面迄种的烦恼啊，贫穷苦难，沉迷啦，伫迄个生老病死而不知觉。 干那伫遐伫咧烦恼、贪欲、造业，所以佛陀真无忍心走入人群啊，就是要度化众生。啊，要安怎度呢？也要安怎救呢？度，就是将烦恼啦，迄个。 身心烦恼的出现，咱若是有烦恼，那或者是有贪欲，心永远未满足，迄个心呢，永远都是有得失的心，得来时欢喜，但是呢，也无满足。 还要再要我贪，希望还要再来，都是我所拥有。一直爱呀爱呀，搁较安怎爱？物件搁互咱安怎得？我永远啦，都是欠一项。所以啊，无执着，安怎求，我就是9项我拢已经得到啊，我搁欠一项。迄个一项呢，搁入来归理的教理，迄个一个欠缺，永远都是欠缺。所以呢，咱的心啊，永远都无法度圆，无法度安尼圆满啦，会知足。所以这就是众生的苦，佛陀啦来人间，就是互咱人人知影讲，人生啦，永远都是伫无常苦空，所以要及时觉悟。
So, after watching this clip, Master teaches that of how
对高
to eliminate our afflictions and ignorance. Master's teachings tells that when we are content, only when we are content, will we work to sow blessings for humanity. Just like the Jin's aphorisms mentions, count your blessings, cherish them, and sow more blessings. Then we will gradually understand the importance of cultivation on the Bodhi path, lifetime after lifetime. So let's continue to listen more carefully to Master teachings about the methods she told.
求的欲念，要赶紧满足，才会当消除了咱的无明的亏欠。那，互咱的心知足啦，所以知足呢，伊就会晓要去造福，造福人群，就是叫做富有余。咱已经真有够啊，所以呢，我愿意去付出。啊，什么叫做有够啊？满足的人都有够。啊，逐工伫咧听，有诶啦，伊诶生活对一般诶人来讲，抑阁真困难。但是呢，伊感觉讲，我有够啊啦，我吼，若一碗饭啊，我都会饱。师父阁讲哦，咱8分饱，我抑阁会当剩2分呢。所以吼，8分饱，2分救人，真好。所以讲，咱若是平时的生活，莫求甲讲吼，我安尼真满足啊！世间永远都无满足，但是呢，咱爱把握因缘，把握时间，时间啊，咱爱做会到，利用1分的时间对人间付出。迄份的付出，这是归纳于咱的，咱迄种的救人的感觉真好。
So as I see these Master's teachings here, I was deeply touched because I think besides the pursue the mind of pursuing something, instead of that, Master teaches that we need to seize the moment and seize the opportunity to give of ourselves, to make of all our time well, to benefit all, so that we can be content while we are doing to helping others. And it also comes up with my mind that when Master expounded chapter 3 of the Lotus Sutra, simile and parable, Master gave us some few sentences which that I feel very meaningful for me. So I want to share with you these few sentences here. Master says that we cultivate our own fields of blessing and create God's karmic affinities. By purifying our own minds, we grow in wisdom. Blessings and wisdoms bring complete awakening and perfection in wisdom and action. This few lines just remind us that we spiritual cultivators or practitioners must remain the fields of our minds to keep it clear. If the field is free of weeds and rocks of any size, then it will be easy to cultivate. So as long as we sow seeds, we will reap a harvest. To do so requires us to be mindful and to make an effort to create good karmic connection. I think it's very crucial here. Master gives us 3 points. Furthermore, since we have the precious opportunity to learn the Buddha Dharma, we need to observe and find the true principles of cause and effect. So take the humans as examples. In the world, there are different kinds of people. Some are very kind, but some are not. There are people who are both good and bad at the same time. Some are affluent and rich, so they are carefree. Some spend their entire lives working hard, but have no sense of security. They are all humans, but they are so different. Some are born in more developed nations, some in underdevelopment and impoverished nations. Once they are born, they live out their lives in that kind of place. Their lives are hard. Constantly, there are natural disasters and man-made calamities. So different people live in different kinds of situations. I often ask myself the questions that when I observe people around me and thought, we all live in the same world, but why there are so many differences? Master teaches that we cannot blame our external conditions. We must consider our own karma. Do we have good karma or bad karma? We cannot bring anything with us into this life, nor can we take the Dharma karma with us, except for the seeds of good and or bad karma. We bring our circumstantial indirect retributions with us. So then we must figure it out very clearly what are direct and circumstantial retributions. Here I want to give you the definitions of these two retributions. The first one is the circumstantial retribution. It means that the Buddha Dharma tells us that everything we rely on externally, the country we live in, the place we live in, our status, our money, our family situations, and even our career situation. These are so-called circumstantial retributions. And what about the direct retribution? It refers to the body of all living beings, because the body of all living beings is the result of the karma of the past. But here I want to give you another explanations from another master who referred the direct retributions is referred to our heart, which means that everything externally changes with the mind. According to the relationship between these two rivers, just like the flowers and bees, where there are flowers, bees will be attracted. But if there are more flowers, there will be more bees. And if there are fewer flowers, then there will be fewer bees. In other words, if there are no flowers, even if a lot of bees were caught, they will eventually disappear and die. The flower is the positive reward, and the bee is the reward. and the bees increase or decrease with the flower, just as the word changes with a positive reward. So from the perspective of life, if a person's heart is always content and grateful, he will have external blessings. But if a person's heart is full of jealousy and complaint, his fate will be erected and not so good. So the differences in life are created by retributions. They are not for us to decide. So all this goes back to our previous lifetime. How well did we cultivate the field in our mind? Was it covered with flourishing weed, or many have been covered by a jumble of rocks? If the seeds cannot reach the ground, naturally, there will be no harvest without benefactors and without blessings. And this sentence, I feel so deeply fearful this, because sometimes we will wonder that why there are no benefactors in our life to help us, to give us a hint. Then we need to reflect on my own self. We may end up in an environment with endless man-made calamities and natural disasters if we didn't accumulate it or create a good karma ourselves. This is due to the karma we each created in our past lifetimes. So now that we have understood this, we need to cultivate our own field of blessings. Just like the Sariputra in the Lotus Sutra, because we all know that Sariputra's mind had already turned from the small to the great vehicles. The Buddha bestowed a prediction of Buddhahood upon Sariputra and said to him, Sariputra, you shall become a Buddha by the name of a flower line. However, just like the Master's teachings to us that even he was bestowed, Sariputra still need to diligently engage in the spiritual cultivation, lifetime after lifetime, so that he can attain the perfect enlightenment and endowed with the 10 aspects. In other words, Sariputra still needs to accumulate his own blessings and wisdoms on the Bodhi path, because the blessing and wisdoms are like the 2 feet of the 2-footed animal one that allow him to go in any direction. Thus, he can go anywhere in the world and transform himself and other sentient beings. However, first of all, the Master teaches that we need to purify our own minds first so that we can grow in wisdom. If we give without expectations and go among people with the pure mindset, interpersonal conflicts and other afflictions will not disturb our minds. Then naturally, we will grow in wisdom and cultivate both blessings and wisdom. And then this is the so-called perfection in wisdom and action. As to the prediction about the Buddhahood upon the Sariputra, in my own point of view, I think the meaning of the 10 epithets that the Master often constantly repeated when he introduces any of Buddha's disciples was bestowed by Buddha. We will listen to the 10 epithets. I think the meaning of them serves a kind of reminding and the goals for us to learn. When we learn the Buddha's teaching, we are aiming to do the same. So it is a kind of a reminder and learning goals for us to achieve or to nurture lifetime after lifetime. So first of all, let's see what are the 10 aspects. As you can see on my slide, I just show you the all 10 aspects. The first one is the one worthy of offerings. Then the one who is completely awakened. The one who is perfect in wisdom and actions. Here comes after the well-gone one. Nor of the road, some surpassed guide. The tamer, and the teacher of heavenly beings and humans, the Buddha, and comes the final one, the world honored one. And each epithet is kind of learning goals for us enlightened beings to achieve or to nurture when we walk on the Bodhisattva path. Because I think our time is limited, so I just pick up two of them, the second one and the third one, as examples for you. The second one is the one who is completely awakened, which means that we are what we want to learn from God, the Buddha, who is always impartial towards all things. So we do not discriminate between the great and the small vehicles. All are true principles. If we have loving kindness and compassion, then naturally, when it comes to the world matters, we only have well wishes and selfless love. We give and we feel joyful. Thus, everything is clear and bright to us. Whether something is big or small, it contains true principles. We thoroughly understand this. So, by being impartial towards all things, the Buddha attained supreme enlightenment. And this is the reason he is called the one who is completely awakened. And this is also supreme, universal, perfect enlightenment. He knows all things. I think I have lots of space to learn this epithet because some people we like and some people we don't like in our daily life. It always happened. So what we want to learn, or I want to learn from, is when we treat with other peoples, I hope we can impartial to all people and to all world matters. I think it's still very hard for me, so I still have lots of space to learn from it. And the second one, and the third epithet is the one who is perfect in wisdom and action. In 简释 short explanation, it mentions that with the power of his spouse, a Buddha benefits all sentient beings and cultivates all perfect actions. Thus, his epithet is. This means that our conduct must be proper, our speech, our thoughts must also be proper too in terms of our conduct. If we have taken the Dharma to heart, then if the Dharma is in our mind, then we will manifest the Dharma in our actions. So what about our speech? Whenever we open our mouth, we speak the Dharma in kind words. Whether we have cultivated ourselves or whether we can form good or karmic affinities with everyone can be seen in these three ways. So that's why the Master often teaches that we need to speak good words, have good thoughts, and do good deeds. It is very simple sentences, but if we can carry it out in our daily lives, it will help a lot. And what kind of karma do we create with our bodies? When we are giving to others or helping others, we are acting with our bodies. When everyone can feel very joyful and at ease, it's because we explain things very clearly. Thus, their mind can be free of doubts and can be filled with helpful teachings. And this is how we cultivate the karma of speech. So I really hopefully that every day we can teach the Dharma with speech. Everything we say is virtuous Dharma, a good word. So of course, whatever we do with our bodies or say with our mouths must first come from our minds. Our minds are what we must constantly nurture. If our minds always abide in virtuous Dharma, then our every action and every word will be virtuous. Therefore, our minds are very crucial and very important. We must make an effort to organize our minds so that our thoughts are pure and bountiful, rich with many seeds of goodness. And everything we say will be kind and wholesome. So karma must be proper, genuine, and pure. When our minds are filled with good seeds, with good causes, naturally everything we do will create good karmic conditions. And there's also, I want to mention, is the power of our vows. We must not forget the 4 great vows. The 4 great vows are all about benefiting all sentient beings. So one who cultivates all perfect actions is one who is perfect in wisdom and action. Vows we made must never be forgotten. We must never forget our initial aspiration. I think it is very important. Never forget our initial aspiration so that we have the motivation and the power to continue to walk on the Bodhi path. And the mindset we had at the beginning must be not be forgotten also. Therefore, we will always be benefiting all sentient beings. So just like the Master teaches that in order to attain the Buddhahood, we must achieve these goals. Our body, our speech, and mind must be pure. And we must also constantly benefit all sentient beings. As we benefit sentient beings, we must also engage in our own spiritual practice. Then as we move through this world, we can go anywhere in the 3 rings without any fault. Thus our wisdom and conduct are perfect, very harmonious and complete. And with the Dharma in our hearts and actions, everything will be perfect. Of course, we have still lots of space to learn from it. Then we can be or can achieve literally or gradually towards the state of perfect in wisdom and action. And I think time is really flies. Those are some of my acknowledgements regarding to the 10 aspects when someone has attained the perfect enlightenment. May today's online sharing can enrich your Bodhisattva path and life journey. 感恩。
感恩 so much to Chen Sifu. Actually, the Chen Sifu, if Sifu has time, really can continue with the balance 8 epithet. But we understand Sifu is very busy. How? Then we hope can invite Sifu to share with us another day on the balance 8 epithets.感恩 Sifu. Wow. Hopefully after listening, we all wouldn't be in the long night of samsara in the darkness. Okay, maybe if it's okay, we all can take a picture with Sifu as our memory footprint today. Okay, we take one picture first of Sifu before our next session. Wow, very good. Yeah, good reminder on this 3-4 karma to observe body, speech, and mind. Sifu gave us a lot of tips on how to walk on this bodhisattva path at peace. At ease, because we know it's not easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sister, happy you take the photo, is it? Sister. We pay respect to Sifu before Sifu leave us for Sifu very busy packed activity today.
Yeah, I need to do work on now.
Okay. We give a bow to Sifu for benefiting us today. 感恩。Chen Sifu. Okay, we proceed now to our next session. Okay, before that. Okay, brothers and sisters, good morning. Can you all see the PPT in full screen? And can hear all? Okay. 好，感恩。 Let us, okay, good morning, brothers. We are most grateful and humbled to learn from the Chen Sifu. Hope to hear more from Sifu. And today, I think the group wish to share on this topic by Brother Ni Ming Zun on 11 September about good heart, good vow brings good faith. You know, people always say how to have good faith. Maybe we need to go to this temple and seek and people do a lot of things to get the good faith. But here in Siew, we are most grateful to have the right directions from Master and Brother Ni Ming Zun share again from his perspective about this, the way to get this good faith. Okay, Brother Ni Ming Zun, he shared, he said once, this is the story about him and his children. He said once the news department, the media side, they held a birthday party. One of the delicious desserts served was this ang dao tang, the red bean soup, so made by one of the brothers from Kaohsiung. On his way back, Brother Ni Ming Zun told his children who also attended the party that, hey, this red bean soup was very tasty and it's broken down. In Mandarin, 很烂, it's lan. So the children said, hey, friend, they asked the father, can you repeat the word broken down? And they laughed after the father repeated. The father asked, why? What is so funny about this 很好喝的绿豆汤很烂? What is it so funny about this very broken down? It's like very soft. Then they said, hey, then they explained to the father, lan. I mean, in Mandarin, if you hear the word sound, it sounds another like very not good, lousy food. So then he realized that the kids interpreted it as a terrible food. But what he actually meant is that the beans are very soft and well cooked. You see, we see these two utterly different meanings. The same words can have two different meanings. So that's why Brother Li Ming Zun, he said, so when we speak, we have to speak clearly to avoid misunderstanding. Also, we must nurture the habits of positive and bright thinking. Because those who are more positive tends to interpret it as soft and tasty. So those with negative or not so happy situation, they may interpret the soup as terrible or not eatable. Okay, that's the part on the soup. So Brother Ni Ming Zun said that if we always harbor the good thoughts, we will often hear good words. That's why we often heard people say if the person always hear always negative things, it means got a lot of self-obstruction. I think it's like something like the soup. The positive people will hear it very positively, but the negative people tends to have, because of the karmic in the body, always hear it negatively. So Brother Ni Ming Zun also mentioned about benefactors, which our Master De Cheng also mentioned. So if we encounter benefactors, we will have better faith. Otherwise, we will hear bad words, speeches, encounter bad people, and always have this bad faith, bad lucks. That's Jing Si aphorism Master said, if you have love in your heart, others will love you well. Another one is humans are controlled by the mind. So this world is a reflection of our spiritual mind. It's a mirror of what we are thinking actually. This mind is the origin of all things. In fact, Brother thinks that if a good heart must be applied in our daily life, of course, Master also always asks us to be mindful. Try to harbor this good intention in every moment. Okay, Brother also mentioned there are a lot of stories in this sharing. That's why I really find it very interesting. Hopefully, everyone can be benefited like me. Brother shared another time he donated blood. So he usually, when he donates blood, he will usually play with the handphone or watch drama because it's a process. But now, Brother, he realized that he can do something better. He would feel very blessed and very grateful to himself for being so healthy and able to be a donor, because not everyone is qualified to be a donor. He also, at the same time, while donating blood, nowadays he will bless the blood receiver, wishing him health and peace, indirectly forming a good blood and good affinity with the recipient. See, so powerful. So Brother is grateful also to the staff at the blood donation center too. This I see with all this, it's like power of 1 to infinity. Instead of merely donating blood, he also bless everyone, the person who receive and 感恩to himself for having this chance to donate 感恩 to all the staff. So because blood donations not only save life, but also promote our metabolism, maintaining the health of our body and mind too. So these thoughts must be accumulated in our normal days. Now,
Sister Su Ching,
yes, Sister.
I interrupt you for yeah. I
Okay,
think this blood donation thing is really something that is kind of like makes you think that those days when you receive blood. And sometimes we do. If you live a longer life, there will be occasions where you have higher opportunities to be maybe sick and you need to receive blood. And I had such an incident and I was receiving a lot of blood. And somehow, during those early days, you don't think about it, You go to hospital, you need the blood, so they give you the blood, you have the blood, right? But when we listen to Dharma, after we listen to Dharma, you start to be more aware that, these packets of blood saved your life and they are your benefactors. And I say, I have a very grateful feeling for those people whose blood saved my life. And I feel very grateful. And I say a prayer of gratefulness to all those people who have unknowingly, like you when you donate blood, you just don't expect anything in return other than blessing the person, like brother said. So I think, sometimes, you need to really have a little bit of cultivation and to think, before you will realize that, these things are just so precious. And that it's not just blood you're receiving, but it's blessings and love, Yeah.
Wow, I think Sister Moon for the very heartwarming sharing truly. With a grateful heart, I think we will be blessed, always protected. At least we are at ease and peace. If it's okay, I move on to this. The next story. Okay, this story, Brother Minzo shared about as he's talking about the mind and health. He shared about this retired university physics professor Chen Guozhen. This Professor Chen, he studies human special abilities. Listen to it also, you feel like wow. But we are also very looking forward to. Once the in essence of the body mind by Sangren, this team they interviewed him for the research. So he helped our staff, Sister Wan Qi, to measure her body energy. The test shows a lower value of certain organs. Her body indicates a tendency of getting sick. So this professor asked this sister to imagine, for example, if she has discomfort in her throat or respiration, imagine herself breathing fresh air in the natural forest. As a result, after imagining this, picturing this, the retest using scientific numbers and machine shows a recovery to normal value. Wow, see how powerful our mind can heal us for certain circumstances like this. Just a change of our mindset, the measured value changes too. So this interview made a deep impression in Brother Ling Chun. Say, when we are sick, for sure we will go to see doctor, but we should also at the same time try to stay positive instead of worrying day and night. Worry is a negative energy. That's why people say that some people died not because of the sickness, died because of the mind. Not yet die already, the mind thinks it's going to die, so the person also will have this problem. Okay, next, now Brother Ling Chun shared about this electrical engineering professor in Chengkong University, Chang Ling Shen. Chang Ling Shen is quite young. In his sharing, he said, he's a carrier of Hep B, hepatitis B. Once he joined a 5-day course about spiritual growth, he sweat a lot and got rid of some negative energy in the mind and body. His retest shows that he no longer has hepatitis B. Wow, he's no longer a carrier. Theoretically, to say, when he shared, he said, this professor said it's not possible. But then the retest shows such but then so it resolved some of the conflicts and trouble in his mind. He's no longer a happy carrier anymore. Later, this professor did a research in the signal transfer in penicillin. He put a penicillin into a cup of water and fill another cup with just water. The test are 2 cups of water, one with penicillin, one without. He used electric coil to transfer some signals from the penicillin cup to the other and found healing effects of penicillin to the cup with just water. Just sending electric coil to transfer the signal. Wow, it's the test shows that there is a healing effect in the other cup early on just with water. So it's proven to suppress E. coli. Of course, penicillin we know is to suppress E. coli too. So this professor later found that this penicillin has 598 types of unique frequencies. Other study found that vitamin C has 379 types of unique frequencies. Jokingly, the professor said, if you forgot to bring vitamin C, it's okay. Just ask someone to send this message to you via phone or computer. Then putting it into water, it will give the effect of vitamin C. In fact, it's very similar to the placebo effect. We met brother, I think early on he did some talk about it also in the past few episodes. So he will not repeat it today. I mean, this is from one of the professors sharing for us to contemplate. Okay, another one, this one is a famous one. I'm sure, I think quite most of us have heard about this Japanese doctor Masaru Emoto on this water crystal. So water we know crystallizes below 0 degrees Celsius. But before this water has this crystal, this professor exposes it to various conditions. Like if it's listened to a symphony, a pastoral symphony, then there will be beautiful hexagonal water crystals formed. If it's a departing song, similarly, the crystals appear to be disintegrated too. If it listens to Buddha Dharma, the sutra, it will form very serene golden crystals around it. We will talk about this later. Okay, it feels like the water too understands and feels the music. Later, words like thank you, it will give a nice crystal, looks hexagonal also. It doesn't matter if I thank you is in what language, Korean, Chinese, Japanese or English. It's all of this water will form the shapes, or you can understand all languages. But if you write the word stupid, then the crystal will be very messy. Of course, hatred too. But it's the opposite effect will be the love. Thank you, very pretty crystal will form. So Master says, being grateful to others is beautifying ourselves. Because if you think about it, if we are grateful to others, 70% of our body fluid we know it's water. So it will become beautiful molecular structures. Isn't this beautifying ourselves? You see, Master so wise. There's like, I think one of our very wise Brother Chin always said, our masters when the words Master speaks, if we contemplate it deeply, it has many layerings of wise wisdoms, a lot of meanings. Moreover, our Master Cheng also mentions that embracing others is being kind to ourselves. Because when we hate or resent others, a lot of resentment on a person, 70% of our body fluid, imagine it will become what? It will become very ugly like the water crystal, right? So this is self-abusing. This is people not be abusing us, but imagine we are the worst enemy of ourselves. We self-abuse others, ourselves when we think bad of others. So embracing has no room for hatred, neither does it have room for resentment. So we are bettering ourselves and treating ourselves well. Okay, they did another experiment too. This one is about on this 500 people harboring well wishes towards a cup of normal water. Initially, there were no crystal in the water, but when these 500 people from different parts in Japan, they all gather and pray and send their blessings. The test shows that crystal starts to form in this water. Another good example by Brother Li Mingchun is that we heard also this lake in Japan. There's this Lake Biwa, but of course this picture looks good. Actually, this lake is known for dirty and smelly lake. It's a bit polluted, but a lot of people they will go there to pray. Coincidentally, there's this time the son Okay, when there are many people praying there, the sun rises after they complete the prayers, and amazingly, the water crystals before the prayers they have taken pictures. It was ugly, but after the prayer, they noticed the water has become so beautiful that they are even more beautiful. Then they test then the word love and thank you. Because of this, many people they go there to pray. So actually, we must always send our prayers and blessings to others. It shows that these blessings, prayers is more powerful than the word love and thank you. Because so that's why here Brother Li Mingjun讲sending our prayers to others very important, because before they even receive them, you already receive your own prayers and blessings. That's why we still continue on with this 1:30 prayers, even in Thai TV every day. You also will listen to 1:30 noon prayers, and we know many communities. Some communities until today, even after pandemic, we still hold on to this 1:30 prayer, and some even have night prayers, like the English group. So we and every of the Tzu Chi activities, we will end with the prayer song, because we know this power of prayers will definitely bring a different feel of energy to the world. It's one of and of course, we are all gearing to, maybe later we share the December one of why we all should join. Okay, now Brother Nimi. Sister Moon, yes.
So now I understand why my mother goes to temple to take the water and insists we drink it. I used to think it's what kind of nonsense. You know what I mean? So it's actually the energy that has been given into the water, and that energy will give the positive vibration, and it will cleanse our own body. That, I think, is the principle behind it, which we never understand the power of this thing. But before you go on, Sister Su Ching, all the few stories that was described above also brings me to mind that there is this particular Western doctor that I would like to share, but I don't know, maybe some of you may have heard about him. He's almost the father or the pioneer of homeopathy. That means to treat patients with the use of drugs, without the use of drugs, but natural things, plants, right? In his case, Dr. Edward Bach, he used flowers to do. A little bit long, just bear with me. But I feel that, it is a good story, and that it is good to be aware of that there is such a thing. And this, because I was suffering a little bit from anxiety, and I have a friend who's given up his practice, retired from being a doctor. And because he's also a very spiritual person, so he went into treating his patients also with a little bit of homeopathy principles. And he was following this Bach. And he gave me some drops of flower essence. He says, take it, it will calm you down. So when it calms you down, then when you are calm, when you're sick and you're anxious, you don't see things as they are, right? So you may not be able to make the right decisions. But when these things calm you down, then you are able to see your way forward. Should you take this treatment? Should you take this treatment? Should you take this treatment? And I said, I can try, but drops of flower essence can help me like that, But when I read the book about Dr. Edward, he was actually a bacteriologist. So he was a very respected physician practicing. And after many years, because he's a bacteriologist, so he was able to identify about 12 or so groups of bacteria that cause most of the illness in people. And because he's a bacteriologist, he's able to identify these groups of bacteria, and he discovered vaccines to fight these things. But the treatment is a little bit complicated. That means you have to see a doctor, you have to go to the hospital, you have to take your injections, So he wants to do things. How can I make this even simpler that people can take at home? No need to fear injection, no need to introduce pain to deliver relief, you know what I mean? So the long story is that he eventually noticed that it is the character. People with the same personality and character suffers the same way. So instead of dividing people by their physiology, he divides them and study them according to your personality, your character, you know. So then I think he's a medicine bodhisattva. In my mind, he's a bad, because he got all this calling. He don't take money from his patients. He's always poor, but somehow money will come to him to let him continue with his work, right? And so he said, okay, he went and discovered that plants, flowers in particular, can replace their groups of bacteria, you know. So he could find the vaccine that the flowers can have the same effect as the vaccine on these groups of bacteria that is causing a lot of illness. Yeah. So he spent all his life looking at the flowers, looking for flowers, and the flowers he discovered to take the essence from these flowers, the healing essence from these flowers. He will put them in a bowl of water in the field where the flowers are, and he will expose it to the sunlight, because he saw a dew on the flower and he thinks that this is how the essence is transferred. The sunlight acts on the water and the flower will dispense its essence and energy into the water. And this water he will bottle and he use it as a tincture and to give people. So different flowers, 38 flower remedies. He found 38 flowers which will be able to almost treat any illness. Okay, but of course it's not that you don't go to see a doctor. It's just that this one will help those, especially those that are not very seriously ill. And he is through his own, so he abandoned orthodox medicine and went into this, just giving drops. So the patients come to him and they tell him, and he observed the patient, that what is the underlying root problem was his mind. So he says, if you happiness, so you have to be happy first, right? So most of these patients were not happy, which is causing all the physical illness. So his flowers removed destroyers of happiness, in his words, all right? Like fear, anxiety, grief. So when you heal the mind, you heal the body, right? So to quote him, disease is cruel because it is the penalty of wrong thought and wrong action. So if you have the wrong thought, if you have the wrong action, the penalty on your body is disease. It manifests as a disease, right? So if you separate the cause of that, so if you're able to separate, so he talks a lot about the self, ourself, and a higher self. So it's our true nature. To me, he's talking about that our self is too far away. If your self is too far away from your pure nature, in his case, he described pure nature as soul, then a lot of disease comes in. So the idea is that if we can train our mind such that we are near to our pure nature, you will not have this physical disease, right? So he makes use of these flowers to help to get your mind in the right direction towards being in harmony with your true nature, right? For those who are sick, peace of mind and harmony with the soul is the greatest aid to recovery. That was his words. And so talking about all the signs of vibration, water, the water crystals and all that. He says that science tends to show that life is harmony, a state of being in tune, and that disease is discord or a condition when a part of the whole is not vibrating in unison. So you see, so I look at homeopathy in a little different way now, that there is some credibility and a lot of merit in it. And his prediction is that in future, today, orthodox medicine say, you're sick, I treat this symptom. In future, medicine will move more and more away into treating the mind, because when he treated the mind of his patients and he only used these drops, he didn't use medicine, most of them recover. without needing to take medicine or going to the hospital. So he has a whole lot, and more people were joining him in this. So it's really amazing, and it changes my outlook. And reading his book is like reading our Dharma book. He mentioned that Buddha and all these, Jesus, Buddha, and all these great bodhisattvas exactly come to the world to do this. So I think he is, in a way, a medicine bodhisattva, because he was sent to discover this. In one lifetime, he could discover this. Yeah. So yeah. So when this topic you have picked, it reaffirms the fact that that science and is not just about science. It is so tied with Dharma and the one with the universe, isn't it? Huh? Yeah. So that's my my story that I feel so relevant to today's.
Truly, yeah, sister, very good. Wow, truly truly amazing. That's why when we walk into this beautiful world, then we realize there are so many tips, remedies around us in nature. Yeah, okay, yeah, that is truly in sync with the teachings. Always be in harmony. To have a broad mind, that will be our best healing teachers, doctors. Okay, maybe on this surprise part I'll skip because I think most of us more or less understand how the effect of when we say good words to the rice as well. This is the rice experiment. Okay, we will move on to another stories from Brother Lim Chun. This one about the feng shui. I think quite hot among the Chinese people. Okay, so Brother Lim Chun said that if we always have good thoughts, make good vows, then we will see see everyone with the Buddha's heart. Then that is the biggest self-transfer, transfer of merits, transfer of all the blessings and positive energy. So people always say, please Master, or ask the God or whatever, the spirits out there to bless us. But here we can hear to have the best self-transfer blessings and positive energy is we ourselves, we can do it. Just have this, like the Sifu said also, the good. I think Sifu talking about Sen Kou Ye, the body, speech, and mind, and make good vows. So it's in sync with Brother Lim Chun sharing also. So Brother said that actually we do not seek this positive energy outside, for it all comes from within our mind. Energy is from this mind. It is better to absorb Dharma water than changing the feng shui. Always when we ask the feng shui master, change this, change that. So it's better to absorb Dharma water than that, because Dharma water is more powerful. But Brother said that he shared this story about his auntie. He has this auntie who lives nearby Taichung Jingsi Tang. Once someone, a feng shui master went to the house and saw the house. The person said, this feng shui is very bad, very poor. Because when he looked out of the window, the Jingsi hall, he said it's all the feng shui was bad. But then the auntie luckily has this, I think it's a follower of Tzu Chi. The auntie said if you look out to Jingsi, if you look out from the window, it's okay because it's near to Jingsi hall. Jingsi hall energy, the Dharma water will change this energy, the negative energy field of the house. So to the person, the auntie, this is a good house, it's a good place. Because they are near to the Jingsi hall, with the positive energy, the house will have good feng shui too, and they are also surrounded by good people. So good people, we know these are all the good benefactors they can change the energy field. We must ourselves offer in the kind and positive energy that is of the Tzu Chi cultivation ground. Another time, Brother Lim Chun said he once listened to this teacher Lin Wen Ying talk. This Lin Wen teacher Lin, she said she has a classmate who is a professor in management study at Taiwan University called Lin Jingfeng, her friend, a professor. This Lin Jingfeng specializes in statistics. He is from Fengyuan in Taiwan. He has this professor never been taught 3 and he scored 0 in the university maths exam. But sorry, later the professor, how come a person who scored 0 never been the top 3 his result in fact not good he later gained top ranking admissions to business research institutes that is completely beyond anyone's expectations. How did he achieve the top listing? So this professor, he shared, he said he decided when he study this research, wherever he comes home, he would pray to this, okay, this is the divination stick, the Cao Qim, at the nearby temple. This is from this professor. The first draw showed a bad one, not good prediction. Then okay, most of us, if we receive such a stick, we would feel like, oh yeah, hopeless already, or no chance for this examination. And then he went on to take the second, and he took the third draw from this stick, bad, also not good stick. The prediction also bad, equally bad. So then whenever he saw this bad one, he kept drawing. He told himself, I must work harder. Then after 14 times of bad things, all the bad predictions, I think normally people, we don't think people normally will go up to 14. Normally we go one time. He said most of the people will give up already because but for him it's different. Each time he get the bad one, he will keep motivating himself to work harder. It means he has to work very, very hard. So finally he for him he got all the bad things. So for him it's different. It's his mindset. So he told himself he must do better, he must work harder. So finally, because of that stick, which gives all the bad prediction, he encouraged him to work harder. Then he managed to get to the top list. So is it necessary to give in and accept what the stick said? I mean, so-called the fate. That is what the professor is trying to say to us. So once Brother Lim shared a story, once a news anchor said that the stick's drawing is fun. When he got a stick that doesn't please him, he rejects it and he draw until he gets a stick that pleases him. Means that he keep drawing until he get a positive stick. Maybe Brother Lim said that's not a bad idea also. Of course, but in Tzu Chi, we don't go for this depending on this divination stick. This is about the lay, I mean the other people who are practicing it. It's about how to transform even this bad divination, bad prediction into a good one. It's a positive psychological motivations. Okay, this maybe here I think for us in the English educated, I think in Malaysia we don't really use it much. But this kind of stem, personal stem in the wooden stem seal, in some parts they are still practicing. It's like their personal, like our signature. So Brother Lim shared, he would never believe in the past about this. But now that it has happened to him personally, that's why he shared his story. He said, brother said he once met an incredible man. This man used to be very famous in this Taiwan stem seal world. He can make very nice stem seal. He can even tell some of your things by seeing your stem seal. It means you show him your personal stem seal. This person can like tell your fate also. At first, Brother Lim just said he don't believe it. He said it's not possible. But one time, this man saw his wooden stem seal and said, "You have a toothache yesterday, right?" And Brother Lim just said how he knows he has a toothache yesterday. Then this man saw the wife, Brother Lim wife stand still and said, "In the near future, you may suffer lower body illnesses or get pregnant, either one." He wasn't very accurate about it, but there's this, he was sharing about the trend. So after that, Brother Lim said, truly, the doctor verified that the wife was pregnant. How to explain this? So brother said it's very difficult to explain, but he has no choice but to believe it. Since he could not explain it, as he saw with his own eyes. Later he said, Brother Lim said, he observed again his stem seal and said, "Your job favor is not best." Now the problem starts because Brother Lim he's working for Thai TV, right? Thai TV station moved from Nangang to Guandu, which is in the west direction. It's no longer favorable. If he believe what this stem seal man said, then his job means it's no longer favorable to him. But Brother Lim he wished to change the mindset. So he's thinking, Thai TV is a program that purifies people's mind. To Brother Lim TV is the Eastern Glaze Pure Land. It's a Pure Land, Eastern World Pure Land. So he thinks that it is East. So I say, just by changing this mind, and after that, he this friend of him, the amazing man, in stem cell, look at the stem cell again and say, hey, your stem cell has changed. So you see, so Brother Minjun said, you see, we can change our destiny through by changing the mindset. So is the destiny for real or not? Yeah, there is this destiny, but it can be. So as Master said, Master Cheng says, it's not that destiny or geography, locations doesn't exist, but this mindset is more important. If we don't change our mind, so it's useless to explore, even if we change the feng shui or all this geography or destiny or fortune telling, nothing can help us. So more importantly is the mindset.
Yeah, so you know, those of us here are so brought up so much on the belief in feng shui, right? Yeah, so yeah, sometimes it's ridiculous. Some people practice to the point where they can't do anything without checking the feng shui, and you wonder how things can get done, isn't it? Huh? Yeah, so I think it is not easy actually, to go against the feng shui law, but yeah, I think with a change of mindset, we can kind of like reconcile a little bit what is practical and what is actually in the mind.
True. We are that powerful now with this learning. I'm very grateful to our masters for guiding us well and all these wonderful sharings. Okay, there is this Brother Nimichu shared. He recently made a vow to. He hopes to give 1,000 talks on vegetarianism in this life, transforming leftover meat in the past to actively promoting vegetarianism now. It's inconceivable when it comes to this vow. He said that he shared this story. There's this sister Lin Mei Huang, a Yilan Tzu Chi volunteer, who also joined Su Ching Eater Association. Once she met a very severe car accident on her way to care for the prisoners in Taiwan. Tzu Chi, they also have this field of blessing where they enter the prisons to care for the prisoners to give them the motivational talk. So Brother Min still remember that she was sent to this Bo Ai hospital where her whole skull was removed. The medical staff told them that her chance of survival was very slim, and everyone prayed for her. Even Master Cheng knows about it too. Tzu Chi hospital staff were also sent there to see what they can do or to help. Many people sent their blessings. She got through it eventually. Later, the medical staff revealed that when they saw her survival chance was very low, it was just to pacify them. They didn't think she would. Actually, the medical staff there at Bo Ai Hospital think that this sister cannot pull through already. But Sister Mei Huang pulled herself away from this death door. When she recovers her consciousness, she tried to write something, but it was crooked and people cannot really read it. Even the husband and children could not understand them. Later, the family member realized that it is the handwritten words is about Taiwan dollar 5,000. Actually, what does this Taiwan dollar 5,000 means? When Da Ai TV building was flooded, this sister already wished 5,000 Taiwan dollar to Da Ai TV before this. Actually, before the accident, she already had this mind. She wants to donate this 5,000. It's like a wish not fulfilled, So she kept this wish, this vow in her heart. During the accident, she keep remembering this. So before the accident, moreover, in addition to that, before the accident, a physically disabled man expressed his wish to donate to Tzu Chi, and she promised to collect it from him, but she has not done it. So she has two missions not accomplished. One is 5,000 Taiwan dollars she need to donate for this ITV station TV, and to collect this donation from this physically disabled man. So this because of this, she bring it during during accident, she kept it in her heart. This good wishes she stored in her heart. So it's so important to her. Imagine when she first recovered, the first thing she writes is about the 5,000, and the thought is always to collect the money from the guy. So that's what she wanted so much to fulfill her good vows that she got her through this difficult moment. The death door, she passed the death door because of her positive thoughts, kind thoughts. So most of the example given were individual related. Okay, now Brother Lim Ming Chun, he shared about these natural disasters that is validated in Buddha's talk. If we read the 8 realization, we will understand about this fragile land. Master Cheng also always urges us to pray sincerely, pulling all the kindness, this great love. So the great love can definitely can resolve the great disasters. Like during the 921 earthquake, the famous one, when there's this fault, the Cheng Lung Pu, I think the Taiwan fault passes, most of the buildings were destroyed. The quake, this fault, this line, earthquake line also passes Siji Tan Chi district, but neither the district buildings nor nearby homes collapse. Actually, they sit on this earthquake punya itu the line. Taiwan's disaster is relatively mild compared to international earthquake at that kind of level. The quake. This perplexed this doctor. There's this Dr. Shi Huan, who has 30 years of experience in earthquake. He's perplexed. So he did this scientific research. And it's truly very difficult to explain. Okay, maybe for ease of explanation, we watch this video from Brother Lim Ming Chun talk. Let us share this 5 minutes video. It's Chinese, but don't worry, we have the English sub below it. Okay. Sorry, can you all see? Sorry, I share again. I'm not sure whether I did share the sound. Okay, screen 2. This video, if you all cannot hear, let me know.
其发生了大地震，上人当时就希望大家能够大爱化解大难，让爱心动起来。上人说，像土耳其这样的灾难在台湾不是不可能发生哦。当时我想知道的人、听得懂的人不多，没想到后来发生了大地震。思贤师兄，慈济志工总督导思贤师兄就说，当时他跟着上人旁边走出来，上人就说：“那呀劲。”怎么会这么快？所以上人一直说，他当时真的觉得心很不安，所以希望用这样的一个大爱化解大难。可是呢，我后来访问了中正大学的地震学系的教授石瑞娟教授，他说921地震是很不可思议的，因为跟921地震相同规模的地震，死亡人数是更多的。比如说以土耳其地震来讲，跟台湾差不多，但死亡人数台湾是2400，但是土耳其地震是差不多大概7倍。后来我们做了一个研究，就是从1900年到2008年采访当时比921地震规模要大的地震有36次，平均往生人数3万人。规模和921地震一样大的有10次，平均往生人数2万人。以2万人这个数字来讲，是921地震的8.5倍，这就很难解释啊。而且更难解释的是，比如说像阪神大地震，它的释放能量只有921地震的1/11，往生人数却是2倍多，还发生了一个很大的火灾。所以他后来开始相信上人说的大爱可以化解大难。而当时我做了2集的专题，那时间的关系，那就先只给他看下集的报道。
最近天灾频传，印证佛陀说的国土为脆。正言上人不断呼吁大家虔诚祈祷，只要凝聚更多人的善念，大爱绝对可以化解大难。像921地震当时，车龙埔断层经过的地方，几乎所有建筑都被摧毁，而断层也通过了慈济潭子园区，但是园区和附近民宅都没有倒塌。整个台湾的灾情和国际地震比起来也相对轻微，这让研究地震30年的石瑞全教授百思不解，无法用科学解释。他开始相信正言上人说的大爱可以化解大难，因为台湾人的善良，让我们虽然受灾，却能够大灾小难。 最近世界灾难不断，只要启发更多的爱心，就有无限希望。印尼发生规模7.6大地震，萨摩亚遭遇8.0强震的侵袭，还引发海啸。凯撒纳台风肆虐菲律宾，莫拉克台风侵袭台湾，造成88水灾，各地4大不调，可能很多人觉得失望、悲观。但是正言上人表示，只要启发更多人的爱心，就可以化解灾难。以台湾来讲，921地震造成2400人往生，在国外一样大的地震，平均往生人数却是921的8.5倍。地震岛上更可以看到善念的奇迹。车龙埔断层从苗栗卓兰到南投竹山，将近100公里。不在断层带的南投中寮，将近4000间房屋倒塌。距离断层25公里的埔里，12000多间房屋倒塌。100公里外的台北也倒了东兴大楼和博士的家。被断层带切过的地方，建筑物更是无一幸免。例如七级武昌宫整个垮下来，乌峰光复国中操场跑道隆起2公尺，石冈坝整个被震毁。同样在断层上面的慈济潭子园区，最高隆起将近6公尺，但是园区和附近民宅都平安，很难用科学解释。
潭子园区里面旁边那些的建筑物，它都不是那么的抗震性那么强的，可是比起其他的区域来的话，哇，它的破坏怎么2个都没办法比拟的。附近也有个民宅，可是它那附近的建筑物呢，它破坏非常的少。其实那时候就让我开始就觉得很压抑。
车龙埔断层经过的地区，绝大部分都是脆弱的井水页岩。照理来说，断层也会切过潭子园区，但是在大坑和丰原中间，断层却是在比较坚硬的卓兰层砂岩断裂，只从潭子园区边缘切过。如果断层往左偏移，会更接近人口稠密地区，潭子、丰原和台中市灾情可能更大。
这一栋建筑物你会发觉吗？这一栋是一点点抗震能力都没有的，它就在这个地形的变化的旁边，在断层旁边只有差不多10公尺而已。可是呢，它却一点点都没有破坏，甚至很清楚的你可以看到这些屋啊，然后也都没有掉下来。里面的话啊，它连这个里面水泥它一点裂痕都没有，非常不可思议。
很多人为了要在台中盖慈济医院，省吃俭用，5元10元存起来，甚至打工帮佣赚钱奉献，这里凝聚很多的祝福。921地震前，慈济发动全球募款帮助土耳其，台湾的爱心密度全世界最高，积善之家有余庆。或许这就是921和国际灾难比起来，灾情相对轻微的原因。
大爱化解灾难，这个是我后来非常的相信这一句话。
今世灾难要有警示觉悟，天灾不断，与其担心，不如化为爱心；与其伤痛，不如行动，凝聚更多祝福，一善破千灾，用大爱保护全世界。
Indeed, 一善破千灾。So this we also think remember why now our masters ask us all to gather all our kindness and prayers together. I think keep doing kindness. At the same time, December we are also all working towards this. I think the December we are all aware we are having this global prayers from the 5 continents. So hope let's just all invite more people to join this great effort. Everyone pray together. I think soon the communities will share out the invitation list, invitation dates for the various search seize the opportunity and pray. Yeah, truly. When they talk about this, Taichung is very famous of a lot of people during that point of time. We also heard sharing how they amass. The people are not rich. Actually, it's a very remote kampong area, but they're very kind to do kindness to get money donations for the hospital. They went to great extent. Of course, during Turkey earthquake, even being scolded. We heard how they all overcome the challenge and keep. Very insistent. They know what they are doing. Just do what is right, even being scolded. So because of that, I think the professor, he himself also, the graduate, he look at the house, the red bricks house, all this resident house, it's really, there's nothing on this. If earthquake come, really, it will definitely collapse. But even the roof and the wall, there's no crack, visible crack seen. So we can see that this is truly inconceivable. Okay, with that, I think感恩everyone for listening, and we are most grateful to Brother Ning Chun for sharing this wonderful talk. Okay, thank you everyone. It's almost 8 o'clock. Sorry, extended session a bit. If any feedback, else we will pay respect to Buddha and Sangha by making 3 sincere vows. For those who are not going for the charity, we know there are a lot of charity sales today or activities today. Saying back, please feel free. There's another very wonderful Dharma in Cantonese session today with the great speaker. Can say up for that. Okay.感恩 Sister Moon, 感恩 Sister Moon for great support.
Oh, okay. Kanan for inviting me. Yeah.
Okay, let us pay respect to Buddha and Sangren by making 3 sincere vows. We bow together. First vow. Second vow. Third vow. Okay, 感恩 brothers and sisters. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. 祝福大家。Bye bye. Take care.